Hello, Corpus Fishing Club. Jacob here with a working pattern alert. After the flea market at Rockport, we drove. Hello, Corpus Fishing Club. Jacob here with a working pattern alert. After the flea market at Rockport on Saturday and Sunday, we closed the booth and we drove north to Copano Village, right behind the airport. Fished this fairly solid bottom and really big grass flats. While we were there, we saw some people that were kayak fishing. They said they hadn't caught anything, and we fished here for 30 or 45 minutes and only caught two small trout. So we got back in the car and we drove to the Copano Bay Bridge, which is right here. So just north of Rockport. We came to the Copano Bay Bridge, and instead of paying to get on the pier, we walked in between the pier and the bridge so that we could fish the giant circular pilings under the bridge, but ended up catching fish where the water was being pushed in on a strong incoming tide, um, to some rocks and the pilings right inside of the pier, and I caught a redfish there that was 19 3/4 inches. Put him back, and we caught a keeper trout and a couple of small redfish before we decided to move to the other side of the bridge. So we moved to the other side of the bridge and we parked here behind the pier building and we walked out here. This is all oysters. It's like a huge oyster bed. There were lots of really large mullet that scattered through there, and we were throwing live shrimp under a popping cork, but I don't believe we got any bites there. So I came and walked between the bridges, and my father followed me, and we started throwing at one of these. It goes deep really fast as you walk off into this, and be really careful because there are rocks here. And I think what we found is there's an old seawall that's covered in oyster beds and oysters, that's broken right here. Well, we walked down between here and started throwing shrimp at the pilings, the first pilings that were deep, and we caught one redfish after another as we emptied a quart of shrimp. The shrimp were small, so we probably caught 50 redfish that were all between 15 and 20 inches, and we caught one that was about 24 inches and also a 15-inch black drum. So our stringer had a keeper trout, a big keeper redfish, and a keeper black drum. But what was interesting is we actually walked up under the pier to find out what was over there, and it immediately was shallow, like 6 inches shallow, and we were fishing in a small hole. If you put your shrimp there, you would get a redfish or a black drum every single time. This was on a strong incoming tide. They basically were in almost no water at all. We were fishing right at our feet, but we decided to come back out from under the pier because if we did hook a big redfish, our only chance was to pull him out into the middle. But I wanted to let y'all know that both sides of this Copano Bay Bridge are absolutely loaded with redfish. And my father stayed out there the night before, and he said that he saw just as many fish as he has ever seen in a light in that one place, and he had paid to get on the Copano Bay Bridge Pier. And he fished, and he said he caught just 100 small trout, and also caught a few keeper trout, and saw some large blue crabs in the light. You can target these broken seawalls right under the bridge and right under the pier to go ahead and hook up on a lot of redfish. So once again, my name is Jacob with Corpus Fishing Club, and this is another working pattern alert.